All right. So, shalom, shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. That will bless and honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Currently walking right now, walking through my neighborhood. And just want to make a lesson real quick. Want to go through the spirit again, but kind of I guess going a little bit more in depth than I did last night, considering what was going on. But nonetheless, man, when I walked out my house, the sun started glaring on me, like, because the sun is setting right now. It's 6:52 here, and I did make it back safely. The Wadi Hal Bashim shot for that. But nonetheless, I don't know. When I seen the sun hit my face, it kind of just made me think of what's to come, in the good times that we're about to see following the Great Tribulation, as in us coming into the kingdom of heaven, man. Right? We're about to become rulers on the earth, so to speak. And we're going to reign with our brother Yahushua, right? And dwell in a land filled with milk and honey, as it speaks in the scriptures, man. So I want to get there. And I don't want to take too much time looking at my phone or whatnot, because I definitely like to be vigilant and circumspect while I'm out walking and stuff like that. But so I'm trying to find this precept. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 23. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of his law. Let's get verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel, which I'm about to read the book of Deuteronomy since I just finished the book of Job. Lord willing, I'll be able to start that. So I'm going to go ahead and read. Oh, no, Salaki, not the book of Deuteronomy. The book of Leviticus. Because I'm still going through the laws and whatnot. I already read Genesis and Exodus. I want to go ahead and get Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. Not necessarily a guarantee that's going to happen in that order. Salaki about that. I had to pause my phone. I bumped into my cousin while I was walking through the neighborhood, but he was just saying what's up to me. Like I said, I just got back home today because the semester ended. But like I was saying, I was reading this. But yeah, I was saying, man, I don't know if I'm going to go like directly in that order, because I read the book of Genesis and Exodus like a while ago, probably like a few months ago, and it kind of just skipped around. And it's definitely important to know that, like, you don't have to read the book in order, because if you do try and read it in chronological order, there's going to be things that you like run into, and it might be in a different book that's later, or things that are later and it might be in a different book that's previous, and it's not going to make sense to you, right? That's why you can't just read. That's why anybody can't just read the Bible. The Lord has to bless you with discernment and the ability to understand the things that are written. If it's not written for you, then you're not going to understand it, right? So, for instance, there's things in Daniel that are also referenced in Revelation. Okay, just to give y'all an example, right? Prophecies and whatnot. There's things in Ezra that line up with other things in the book too. right? Things that are in the Apocrypha that aren't necessarily mentioned, but they're referenced in the scriptures, and you wouldn't know that because the Apocrypha is the hidden books. Now, let me go ahead and read this. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when ye shall pass, the Most High giveth thee, that thou shalt set thee up great stones, and plaster them with plaster. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law, when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which Yahweh the Most High Power giveth thee, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as Yahweh the Most High Power of thy fathers have promised thee, right? So we haven't come upon that prophecy yet, because when we return back to Israel, to the Holy Land, that's going to be the kingdom of heaven, man, on earth. Right, the kingdom is going to be on earth, and that's where we're going to dwell. And we're going to go back to our homeland. And how are we going to get there? Through Yahweh Shah. So the people who were there couldn't be the people of the true children of the Most High Power, because they're over there, they're back in their quote unquote, they call it their homeland, but Hamashiach hadn't returned. They're not able to go back there unless Hamashiach came back, right? And then on top of that, what would they be getting saved from? Themselves? It says in the scriptures, man. Let me see. Matthew 24. That's why it says in Matthew 6, on earth as it is in heaven, man. For when you're praying the Lord's Prayer, on earth as it is in heaven, man. The kingdom of heaven is going to be established on the earth, right? So whenever somebody says, oh, well, the Lord's good, when the destruction comes, the whole earth is going to be destroyed. No, if you go into that word, earth is typically G in the Greek, and that's talking about either arguable land, right? Or if it's talking about the world being destroyed, I can't remember. I believe it might be cosmos. That's talking about nations of people, right, that are going to be destroyed. And that word earth is as in G, meaning a arguable land, or even a time period, man. This day and age, this earth age that we're in, right? Even mean that. Matthew 24:29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the power of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the Son of Man, the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Right? So after the great tribulation, man, that's Yahweh Shah is gonna come back. Yahweh Shah hasn't been back on earth yet. Not since the first time he was here over 2,000 years ago. He hasn't came back yet. If he came back, then the end already happened. And the end has not happened yet. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, the chariots with power and great glory, right? And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. That's what we pray and hope to be a part of, man, right? Because that is a great honor. You're a part of the remnant, man. You're a part of the elect of the nation of Israel, the Lord's chosen and holy people. If you're a part of that number, you're in a different class, man. It's just simple as that. It's simple to put it. The Lord is showing you favor and grace to save you on this go round. Make you a sanctified person, as well as what's the other word I'm looking for? Give you eternal life. Yeah. And on top of that, being blessed with spiritual powers too. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? So the Lord is gonna send Yahweh Shai to deliver his elect from their enemies, man. Esau, Edom. Let me see. There's another scripture as well that talks about that too. It's in the Apocrypha. It might be in 2nd Ezra 13. No, I don't see it. Wait. Come on, no. I gotta see. Is it in verse 6? Nope. Maybe it's in verse 2. Come on. That's why I says earlier in that chapter, man, pray for a few days unto you for the kingdom of heaven. I don't even want to quote it. 2nd Ezra 2 and verse 13. Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that day may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Right? So everything is set in stone, man. Everything is set in stage. Everything is set in stage. We just, you know what I'm saying, waiting for the Lord to bring forth some type of, oh, look at some morning dove. The Lord's favorite bird. Not a morning dove, but the dove. But anyways, like I was saying, the Lord is waiting. We gotta wait for the perfect timing, man. Right? Lord's gonna send perfect timing when it comes to that stuff. Perfect timing to destroy this bitch. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 2 and 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, Salaki, I was going to read up from here. Verse 37, oh, receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath called you to the heavenly kingdom. Arise up and stand behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which is the elect, which have fulfilled the law of Yahweh. It's like of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahusha. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed, right? So that's what our elder apostles always say, man. It's about faith. It's a combination of things, right? But most importantly, it's about faith. Your faith in Yahweh Shemel Shah, and then also grace. And another thing is predestination, man. Right? Predetermined. That's what he's saying. Those who were called from the beginning. Because whatever lot you're in is always gonna be what you are on earth. So whenever you're on earth, man, whatever type of life you're living now is gonna be similar to the life that you lived in your past life. Okay? And that's just the truth. So if you were on the highways and the byways preaching and a prophet in your past life, that's the type of life you're gonna live now. Which is why we have such confidence, you know what I'm saying, that we are those men, right? The Lord wouldn't call us to do this for no reason, right? That's what the brother says. You gotta have confidence and ultimately faith. Then a little bit of it is works. Just because you have good works or strong works doesn't mean you're gonna be saved. And just because you think you can keep every single law doesn't mean you're gonna be saved, man. I was just thinking this today. We're eating defiled bread, man. Then everything that Esau Edom has done to this damn food, man. They probably put pork in everything, man. In the bread, all of that shit. So anybody saying that you can be saved through fucking just keeping the law, you're lying, man, because it's impossible. That's why we have grace. That's why we're in a grace period, because we can't keep the laws. We're literally eating defiled bread. So it says, I'm gonna read it again. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Okay? And that word hallowed just means, it's another word for sanctified, make them cleansed, right? Hallow, holy, make them holy. Make them pure, righteous, okay? Whatever terminology you want to use. That's why they were in white, man, because they're righteous, they're holy. And that's what we want to be, man. I, Ezra, saw, this verse 42, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number. And they all praised the Lord with songs, right? Because we know that the 1/3 and 144,000, Lord, when we be that number, are going to be the ones who are taking place in this, right? 144,000 being the first fruits, the mighty man. There's no telling, and there's no telling how what the 1/3 is, man, because Israel is likened unto the sand of the sea, man. So there's no telling how many people there are of the elect, man. It really isn't any telling. You can't put a number on it. Only the Lord knows that type of number. Because you have to realize, man, there are Israelite foreigners, Israelites that are confused in the face, right? They may appear to be a heathen, but they're not a heathen. They're actually Jake. And then they appear to be Jake, but are actually heathen in spirit, right? So you have people who are born in a different land and their heritage go back to Israelites. You have some who look or appear, damn, that dog, little dog yanked that bitch. You have people who appear to be of a different nation, and they actually are Israelites, right? So, and that's talking about those Gentiles and whatnot. But like I said, man, there's no telling what the number is on the innumerable multitude. But we want to be at that 144,000, man, the top tier. Right? We want to put it all out on the line and give everything we got. And Lord willing, we've done what we're supposed to do. We did our deed. He said, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I cannot number. And they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, meaning in the middle, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Now that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Oh, they got air coming out they tire. Oh, you must know that. He got 2 tires in the back of his truck. Ain't none of my business. Anyways, motherfucker might think I tried to do that shit. Which I marveled at greatly. It might be a tactic here, you know, Edomites. Esau, Edom, man, you can't trust these motherfuckers. They try and bait you any way they can. But, yeah, man, they're talking about Yahweh Shai, the Lamb, man. Right? Our big brother, our role model. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High Power, Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms, right? So you gotta have enough faith and enough trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that this work that we're doing is not just for nothing. Okay? That in some way, shape, or form, you're gonna receive something back for that. We don't do this just to receive something, right? And receive something back, man. You do it because you genuinely believe. You have a genuine belief. You have a genuine care, right? You have some type of belief. Or not even some type of. You have a full belief in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? It's not just for what you can get from it. Or what you can, you know what I'm saying, get out of it, right? That stuff is cool and all that stuff, man. But ultimately, we want to be saved, man. And that's just the bottom line of it, man. If you're not thinking like that, then you're in the wrong mindset, okay? All of that stuff is cool, and it's going to come on the back end, which is a good thing. And we're thankful for that. But number one, it's not guaranteed. So if you set your mind to all of that stuff and it don't happen, are you going to be let down? No, you shouldn't be let down. You still did something good, and you tried to live a good life. But ultimately, you have to have that faith and that trust that, yes, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has protection over me. Yes, Lord willing, I'll be that number because, right, we don't know for sure. But we have good hope in it. Let me see. I can finish this chapter. This verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, the Most High Power, the Son of Man, Yahushua, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen, right? That's what we've been doing, man. Well, we're going to really get to tell those manners, right? We're going to really be able to tell those stories and whatnot when we get to the kingdom, Lord, when we be that number. Tell our children's children, right? But right now we're talking about his past triumphs, man, that we witnessed as past prophets, you know. Lord willing, we be at that number. So I want to get this real quick. Isaiah chapter 14. Make sure. I could really go to the blessings that we're going to receive, right? Because we're going to get those too. This is Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice. Because when we were offered these things the first time, what did we do? We didn't get it, man. We had to bump our heads, right? But since we bumped our heads and since we had to go through the fire, right? Since we are going through the straight gate, yeah, what does that mean? We're going to get to receive those things in the kingdom of heaven and even more. It shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh, the Most High Power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh, the Most High Power, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, right? So that's the type of mindset or the mentality you have to have, right? The Lord has made us a holy people. Holy meaning separate. We're different from these other nations. We're just a different breed. That's how the Lord made us. The Negro, Native, and Latino people, right? As well as those who may not look that way or identify that way, but they have that spirit, right? They have the spirit on them. No. It's not our fault that the Lord made us that way though, right? That the Lord sanctified, or shalaki, that the Lord made us a holy people, a people meant to be separate from the other nations. We got our own traditions. We have our own God, which is the Most High, the highest of the highest gods, right? There is no God with him. That's not our fault. It's just how the Lord made it. We have to be, coming into the truth. We have to be able to understand that, right? That the Lord made us that way as a people. And pretty much you just have to have that type of spirit on you. How you doing? You have to have that type of spirit on you, man, that you're just better than these people, man. Honestly, it's not a sense of arrogance or cockiness. It's just a sense of confidence. That's what you got to bring. Sense of confidence, man. Ultimately. Let me see. So, but ultimately, man, right now we're at our lowliest state, man. The Lord brought us down as a way to humble us, right? We were taking things that he gave us for granted. So the Lord brought us down and sat our ass down, right? And we about to go through our final punishment, which is Jacob's trouble, before we get that crown of glory. But when we do, man, right? When I was about to read in Isaiah 14, it's mentioning this, man, us being above these other nations. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, the Most High Power, right? So these are the things that were going to happen if we listened and did what we were supposed to do, right? And even then, it wasn't meant for us to listen and understand. But in the same breath, man, we can see why Jake gives us an example, or at least gives me an example daily as to why we didn't deserve to get these blessings off the bat and that we had to bump our fucking heads, man. Niggas aren't deserving of it. They're all outright rebellious to the fullest, man. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High Power, Yahweh. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So we're gonna have abundance of things that we own, man. To put it in layman's terms, right? As I said, man, we're gonna be rich men on the earth, right? And it's not gonna be taken away from us, man. Once the kingdom is set in stone, man, and I'll get that. Daniel chapter 2. Blessed shalt thou, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thee, before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways, right? And even then, we're going to receive like a blessing like that. You know what I'm saying? Talking about spiritual power, there's a potential of us, you know what I'm saying? Some brothers getting that type of blessing during Jacob's trouble, right? You might be in a situation where, you know, you in a predicament and you need to get out, or they trying to capture you or something like that. And the Lord puts the spirit on you and give you some type of ability to defeat your opponents, man, to defeat your enemies, your adversaries. You never know. The Lord Yahweh shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thy hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahweh, most high power, given thee. Right? Because we weren't just blessed with the land of Israel or the land of Palestine, right? We're also blessed with the land of Canaan and other blessings that were promised to our forefathers. And don't think that Yahweh is slack with his promises, because he definitely gonna make it come to pass. Yahweh shall establish thee and holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of thy Lord, thy power, Yahweh, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee, right? Because it's going to strike fear in the people's heart, man. When people know that the Lord is dwelling with you, man, that's something that's going to be feared. Because ultimately, those nations know the terror and the true power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahweh sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thy hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, right? The least is becoming the greatest. We're not going to be at the bottom of the totem pole no more. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh, the Most High Power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them, right? And that's what we fucked up, man. Committed adultery by worshiping and following these other gods. Now I want to get this and close it off, because I'm kind of over my time right now. But the Wadi Hawabashim Yahushua for putting the spirit on me to make a lesson today. This is the divine kingdom, Daniel 2:44. And in the days of the kings shall the Most High Power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest the stone was cut out of the mountain with thy hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great Most High Power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to close it off there. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. All right, so I'm going to close it off there. Let's see. Any last words I want to say? Oh, man, just know we got something in store that's going to be very big, man. Lord willing, we be at that number, of course. But we're about to see some things change in this world, man. And it's going to be for the greater good. So I ended off there. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rokai HaKodash. That will bless and honor the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth, or taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom, Israel. Shalom. And as always, we one day close to the kingdom, man. Shalom.